Om Shanti. Good afternoon, everyone. We welcome you all for this webinar on behalf of Brahma Kumaris Silicon Valley. I will be your presenter today, and my name is Rajni. I work as a rheumatology physician, and I have been associated with Brahma Kumaris for about 20 years, and I gained so much knowledge from these teachings, and the meditation helps me in all aspects of my life, and we will go through all those in today's webinar also. So we'll start with a few minutes of meditation. Sit comfortably. Relax your body. Take a slow, deep breath in and breathe out. Another slow, deep breath in and breathe out. I take this time to be in the present moment. To be with myself. Take another slow, deep breath in focus the attention completely on the breathing. As you breathe in, feel the air going through the nose, through the windpipe, to the lungs, expanding the lungs. And notice how the air is being exchanged in the lungs. With the help of the blood, the air, the oxygen is being supplied to the heart, to the brain, to your arms, to the legs, giving life to the physical body. Now focus your attention onto your heart. The constant, magical beating of the heart is giving life to all the organs of the body. Take your attention the brain that's helping to process all the thoughts I'm creating, helping the body to carry the thoughts into the actions. I'm amazed to see the beautiful creation of this physical body, helping me to experience the life. I express my gratitude to my physical body and give love, respect, and peace to all the organs of my body. I take this time to be in this webinar reflecting on how to harmonize the elements of my inner and outer world. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. I hope you all experienced the beauty and the greatness of your creation. With that, we will start more into this webinar. So today we are going to very briefly talk about these 5 elements. The aim of this webinar is to mostly just get this thought into us, get this awareness to balance the 5 elements of the inner and outer worlds. As you know, it's a very vast subject. But we'll just focus on very few things briefly so we can all churn more and we can all start doing things in our daily lives which are going to help in maintaining this balance. So you all might have heard about this. All of us, the physical bodies are made of these 5 elements. And the composition is almost the same in everybody, but it is the relative balance and the composition of these 5 elements will make us unique, each one of us very unique. The 5 elements, the space, air, fire, water, and earth. Our physical bodies are made of these 5 physical elements. And so we'll look into that. Same way, our nature is also made of these 5 elements. The nature consists of these same 5 elements. And I think with just that awareness and thought, we know that, but when we realize that, we can understand how much we should be in balance, in harmony with inner and outer worlds, to experience a healthy and blissful life. So we'll look into that. So 72% of the body is just water. We have been hearing about it, right? That's why we need to maintain good hydration and everything, because our body 72% is made of water. And then 12% is of earth element, 6% is of air, 4% is of fire, and about 6% is the space element. This approximately these percentages, but that's how our human body is composed of. And then the 5 elements of our nature, very briefly, we all know the importance, but air is not just a mixture of gases. In the chemistry and in the physiology and all, we read a lot about the air, the components of all the different elements in the air, the nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and various gases. And that's on a physical level. But it actually is a dimension of movement. It's not just that chemicals in the air, it's the dimension of the movement in the nature and in the physical body also. And earth element, it forms the solid matter and the structure of the universe and our physical body. Like whatever the solid structures, the bones and all is of the earth element in our physical body. And then the fire, the two symbolic representations of the fire are life giver and life taker also. Without the fire burning within us, there's no life. But if we do not take care of it, the fire element can quickly go out of control and can consume everything. So very important, all these elements. And then the ether or space, it is the subtle dimension of our existence. And then water, we all know again, is the protector of our body, our basic nourishment. And it protects against the dissolution of the ether element, the roughness and motion of the air element, and the heat of the fire element. So I'm going very briefly, but the intention and aim is to actually for all of us to look into this, to understand more about how our physical body is functioning in harmony with the external environment and how to bring that harmony back. So these are the 5 elements of the nature and our physical body. So very quickly we'll go over why we want to know our physical body is made of these 5 elements and our nature is made of these 5 elements. Is the imbalance is what is creating the problem. Let's say in our body, if there is imbalance of the water element, it's either visible as cold, sinusitis, repeated sinusitis infections, and if too much water, there is the swelling of the tissues, swelling of the glands, and blood thinning. If too little water, that can cause blood clotting type of issues. And then if too much excess water, it will decrease the digestive fire. And so we experience weak appetite, indigestion, dyspepsia, heaviness after meals, thick coating on the tongue, excess mucus, all these things if the water element is more. And very simple things, if you all remember, we are told not to drink water half an hour within half an hour before we eat. You can drink water half an hour before eating or 45 minutes like that after eating. If you have to swallow the food and you need a little bit water, that's okay. But we shouldn't be drinking too much water. The theory, what they say in science is when we eat the juices, the digestive juices, the digestive juices get produced which help in digestion, and if you put too much water into that, it kind of dilutes those digestive juices and it does not help in good digestion. So excess water does that. So right amount, right time is important, and the balance is also important. So you can you can reflect on your own things and then get some expert help if you need. This is for information and to get some basic knowledge. So the earth element, like we discussed, it forms the solid structural component of the body. So when there is imbalance is too little or too excess of it. So it can present as obesity if it's a excess earth element. It can present as weakness in the body or bone related problems, cholesterol problems, weight loss, weight gain, and muscular diseases if the earth element is in imbalance. And then if the air element is in imbalance, and that can lead to blood pressure problems, lung problems, bloating, constipation, lethargy, and most importantly, you might have heard a lot of arthritic conditions or because of imbalance in the air element. And then the fire element, like we discussed earlier, the fire element is needed for our life, but if it's too excess, it can consume us. So for example, the digestive fire is needed for good digestion and assimilation of the nutrients that we take. If the fire element is less, you cannot digest very well. If it's too much, then it can cause hyperacidity or other problems like toxin accumulation in the body, skin diseases, inflammation, all those things happen. And then if there is imbalance of the space element, it causes the throat problems, thyroid problems, mood disorders, ear diseases, speech disorders. So those things will happen. So like we were discussing, balance of the 5 elements is the key to be healthy. So today's webinar will focus more on these things. Balance is what we need. Harmony of these 5 elements within our physical body and also with the external environment. The balance is where we are lacking sometimes, and that's what we have to work on. And in that, nature actually helps us. The mother nature always there to help us. And that's the only one on a physical level that's going to help us. And we are going to look into more subtle aspects, what will help in the balance of these 5 elements in the inner and outer worlds. To begin with, we have to understand that nature helps us. And when we understand that nature influences our physical and mental and emotional health, then we will bring those subtle, simple lifestyle changes in our life that will help us to bring back that harmony. Until we reflect on them, until we know what is causing the problem, who is going to help us, how we are going to help ourselves, we will not take those steps. And when we understand that we can do that and they're very simple steps, then we'll definitely learn and start doing them. So how do we balance the 5 elements? We'll go a few things today. So first thing, diet. We all know about it. We'll look into that. And the yoga asanas, the poses, how they help. And pranayama means breathing exercises. And earthing, one more thing that definitely helps us. Anybody wants to share what other things help us to balance the 5 elements? I want you to all think about it and participate in this meditation. Yes, very good. Anything else? Avoid stress. Yes. Seva, which means serving the others, serving the self, serving the nature, serving others. Yes. Maybe I should have put the question in a different way, but what I meant to say here is we will talk all those things, whatever you answered, but what I want, spending time in nature, exactly. So what I want to make sure is for our inner harmony between these 5 elements, we have to keep the nature's 5 elements in balance. We have to work and contribute to help the nature's 5 elements also to be in balance, and then that will help us to keep our inner world also to be in balance and in harmony, all of these things. So in the diet, we all know, but quickly to go over, our diet and weather contributes to these elements. And I think you all might have heard from your parents, grandparents, and all how the weather changes will contribute to the elements, and how our diet should be changed in these particular weather conditions. You all might have heard from your parents and elders, in winter weather you eat this type of food, in summer you eat this type of foods, because in summer we need the cooling foods, in winter we need the foods that warm up. So there's a lot to think about it. That's why we shouldn't be eating unseasonal fruits, actually, our elders say, but nowadays we are getting a lot of them hybrid and all. But to be in harmony, to be healthy, we have to eat certain type of foods in that particular weather conditions, and also right quantity and not in extremes is the key word, especially in this younger generation, just watching TV and eating whatever, whenever, especially night times, waking up late in the nights and eating late in the nights is creating a lot of problem. So I have heard this from a naturopathic doctor. He used to tell us, when I was a child, I listened to this. He used to tell us that God made the body to live like maybe 100 years, 100% of our life, the pancreas and all the organs. But what we are doing now, what we are feeding our children is all these artificial foods, meaning the preserved foods, and in too much excess the foods, so their pancreas is going to run out in 50 years, in 40 years, in 20 years, because we're giving so much of carbohydrates. It could be like heavy burgers or fries or things like that, without any control on it, just watching TV, eating chips and all, giving those to the kids, and all is creating the problem. So the human body is going to be exhausted quickly, more than what its capacity is if we are giving all the time. So right quantity is the key word. And at the same time, do not waste food. How we are going to help the nature is to not to waste the food. And for us, it is the right quantity and not in the extremes. And then vegetarian diet, I don't know how can I emphasize it more, but this is the call of the time. This is the time we really have to make choices. We really have to think about it. If any of you are eating animal food, please do think about it, in how many ways it's not good for us, and in how many ways you can contribute to yourself and to the nature if you become vegetarian. Actually, our human body, our teeth that are built, the way they are built, our teeth and the human digestive system, it's not for animal food, it's only for vegetarian diet. But because of this whatever in the civilization, whatever happened in the wrong way, people started consuming the animal food, and that's where all the problems happened into our internal systems and in the ecosystem. So I want you to please churn on it, reflect on it, and I will be very, very happy if you're going to bring that change in you and your family and friends. Please think about it. And the vegetarian diet can give us that harmony back in our elements. And then yoga and pranayama, the breathing exercises, how they help is, as you know, the meaning, the term itself says breathing exercises. So the way the breathing exercises are taught is they control the air element in the body. They each different breathing exercise will give us different composition. Different. delivers the oxygen to various parts of the physical body in the right way. So it's again a big science in it. Please look into that and learn some basic breathing exercises which will help you to get connected to the nature, and which will also help you to keep your health in the right condition and in balance. And in yoga also, compared to the other exercises, the other like treadmill or whatever other exercises we're doing, compared to them, if we can do, again, we all are different, we all may have some conditions that we may or may not be able to do. So please look into that in your personal life. But yoga, the different poses that are taught in yoga, and they remove the toxins from the physical body. And some asanas, the name itself, some of them are so beautiful, they say they remove the excess air in the body. Let's say for arthritis patients, the Ayurveda and the other Eastern medicine says there is excess air component in their body that's causing the arthritis. So there are some particular yoga poses which will release that excess air component from our physical body. So there is a lot of science into that also. So you can learn more from people who really have that knowledge, but start doing it, the breathing exercises and the yoga. And both of them actually will help us to be in the present moment. When we are doing those, we will be in the present moment. Our mind is not like rushed into the past or future. So in every way, this yoga and the breathing exercises will help us to be in harmony with ourselves and with the nature. And then in some sciences, it's also represented like each finger of our hand represents one element. And the way they use a different mudra, it's called mudra, M-U-D-R-A. And the way we hold our two fingers at any point of time, like this little kid is holding the hand like this. For each finger, it's a different element. So if we learn from the right people, if we need it for if any health problems, along with using the Western medicine, if you're using and if you need any, if we get this knowledge of our physical body, how is it functioning, how we can get these 5 elements in balance, with these things, it will also help us. And then one more important thing I want to mention here, and please do read more about it and do it, earthing. And again, here I'm talking only about the natural ways. And I have seen a lot of artificial things which help in earthing and grounding and all. I don't know much about them, but the natural part of it is very, very good. So earthing is nothing but reconnecting our conductive human body to the earth's natural and subtle surface electric charge. So earth is naturally about minus 20 millicoulombs, the electrical charge. So when we connect to the earth with our feet, when we walk barefoot, and with our hands when we lie on the earth, or when we put our hands when we're sitting on the earth, we are connected to that earth's electrical charge, and it influences our basic bioelectrical function of the body, and it stabilizes our physiology. And a lot of people have shared their experience when they are in so much pain in any physical part of the body, when they start to go out, when they go out and start walking barefoot or just sitting on the ground with their feet and hands on the ground, in half an hour they noticed that their stress is reduced, their pain is reduced and all. And that's a big science about it. And our elders and grandparents and parents, they used to do all this all the time, walking in the backyard and touching the soil as they are doing gardening, planting trees, and just kids playing. When we were kids, we were playing on the grass in the parks and all, right? Now everywhere we are wearing so much of this. Even at home we are wearing the shoes and the footwear, but that's not what is going to help us when it is safe. Again, we have to see the conditions where we are, and then just in our backyard where it is good, on the gravel or on the soil, on the grass, if we just be in the sun in the morning and in the evening and stand on the earth barefoot and planting the trees or doing gardening, touching that soil, that really helps for the immune system also, it seems. So I think this one particular thing, the natural thing that we can definitely practice in our lives, if we want to create that harmony in our body, in the 5 elements in our body, with the help of the nature, we can start doing these. And there are so many people who are sharing their experiences on this, how it improves their mood problems, reduces the stress, and it creates a greater well-being. So you can look into that more, the natural ways of earthing. And then here, we all know this, right? So far, whatever I spoke, we all know this, most of it, I think. This is to just quickly reflect on it, churn on it. But what we are lacking is following what we know. So here also, nature helps us. We have to adopt this pace of nature, and her secret is patience. It's not a medicine that's going to help in an hour after taking the pain medicine, right? But it is that consistency and the faith that how we can do small changes, and within a few days itself we will start seeing those changes in our physical body, in our mental and emotional well-being. So I hope you all churn on them. You took this time to attend this webinar, but after this, please look into that as you're going through your daily life. Look into that, how you can balance these 5 elements, which is also going to help your kids. Once you know something that works, you can teach your family and kids also. So little patience is definitely required, and that will be definitely. And after diet and the yoga, breathing exercises, earthing, the 4th thing that we said to keep our inner environment in balance is to help keep the external nature and environment in balance. To contribute to the mother nature is the next thing to do, to keep the things in balance. And here, some of us may think that what happens if I just think about it? There's so much going on in the world. But if we all think like that, nothing can happen, only worse will happen. But we have to take the charge. I really liked this when I read, the greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it. Now we have to understand that we are the ones to take charge of this, to help our nature, which in turn helps us only. Our existence is dependent on that. So we'll look into that briefly. And then we'll go into more subtle aspects of how we can balance our inner and external worlds also. And it looks so beautiful, right? To see all the colors of the nature, and the life on earth is so precious. And again, I heard this somewhere. They said that if the honeybees are not there in the world, within a few months, the whole agriculture system will go down. The whole food production will be stopped. If certain insects and if certain things are not there in the fields, again, everything will stop. All the food production will be affected, and we will not have anything to eat in a few years. But if human beings are not there on the world, what happens to the world? What happens to the world if human beings are not there? nothing happens, right? The plants will even grow in between the buildings. Someone said nothing much, less pollution. And we all have heard, right, in the most polluted states in India, Delhi, and in the most visited the rivers Ganga, Yamuna, all those rivers, they were so clean after the lockdown. So we understood how much we are creating, how much pollution we are creating. We understood that in this pandemic, and it's really our responsibility to help maintain the ecosystems. Again, the vegetarian diet is one of the most important thing that we can do to help maintain our ecosystems, because life is precious on this earth and we have to contribute our side, what we can do to the nature. And then for some of you may know, some of you, if you're not aware, this is something to really learn from the nature. So in Indian tradition, and I think in some other traditions also, we called the elements as deities. We call them gods, the deities. So our elders have been teaching us to, right, like to bow down to the trees, to bow down to the plant, the holy basil, to take a dip in the water to purify you, to do these homams and all to purify, and all these things they were teaching us. In the beginning, they did it with a lot of respect and love, but later they have become the rituals. And later, we even started questioning, do we really have to do? Because we didn't know. Definitely, you don't have to do all those rituals, but we need to understand what we wanted to do for those rituals. So the word deity is English word. The devata is the Hindi word, the Sanskrit word. So the meaning is the one who gives. Devta means dene wala. Dete, dete, devta ban jate, it says. So the one who gives is the deity. Like in your homes also, you might have heard saying, if a girl child is born, or if any new baby is born, they say deity has come to the home. That's because they give that purity and happiness. So whoever gives happiness, we call them deities. The nature, the elements also, they say, because nature constantly gives us all those elements, we call them deities, our elders. There is a reason they said to do these rituals, but we were caught up only doing some things artificially and questioning. We don't have to do all of them, but we have to have that love and respect. Like when they say to worship the holy basil, when you stay around that holy basil, the vibrations, the fragrance that holy basil spreads in that area creates a positive charge. It's even somebody shared a video, they put two electrodes and then they showed that it creates that positive energy around that. So that's why that has been the tradition. We don't have to just go in front of it and chant something or do some rituals. If you want to, that's perfect, that's okay. But what we have to understand is that mother nature, in this case the holy basil, was giving that fragrance of that pure positive vibrations which are needed for our health, for our physical body to be in balance. Again, to worship the trees, it's, and they particularly told some trees only, because the vibrations of those trees and the fragrance of those trees is very much needed for our health. And when we walk barefoot there, and that's where we are connected to the earth. And when we created that sacrificial fires, the fire purifies the external environment. The fire purifies that place, that there are no insects. And they also told to do these kind of things right in the rainy season or at the end of the rainy season, where there is a chance of the water being stagnant and insects and all those things can come. So when this certain things are placed in them that creates the fire that purifies the environment. And when they told us to worship the water, it's because the water cleanses the aura. It's not just that water purifies us, no, but the water element, if we get in touch with it, that will keep our water element in the body in balance. And in certain places, the vibrations of the chantings that happen in that place will energize that water. But it is not just that we do all different kind of things and just take a dip in the water, it purifies. No, actually the other major significance of saying water as purifier is it's the water of knowledge that God gives us. If we put that into practice, then we get purified. But on a physical level, the vibrations of the water in certain places and the chemicals that are carried into that water as it flows through the mountains will help to some extent. But it's not just that we have to go to certain place to get purified. We can create those vibrations when we get in touch with any water that we are using in our lives. So it's not just for rituals, but it is to show our love and respect to the mother nature. Those things are being taught to us. So if we do them with that love and respect, that is what is needed, but not just doing them superficially. So knowing that, how do we show our respect to our nature? The 5 elements. First thing is cleaning up our mess, and then respect, right? So how do we respect? One thing I will share, and then you all share what you think. First thing is to give. Start giving. Maybe just start with the gratitude. What we want to, what we are getting from the nature, we can send the vibrations of gratitude and love and respect to the nature in our daily lives. So how we can contribute to protect our nature? There's a lot to think and do, but we'll write a few today. Anybody wants to start sharing what you want to do? Not just in general, but please quickly think and see what you want to do today to help the outer 5 elements in balance to our mother nature. Eat vegetarian food. Perfect. Very good. Have respect. Yes. How? Plant more seeds. Definitely. Yes. Walking when possible. Yes. I would say walking every day. Okay. I want you to all think what you want to do from today to contribute to the nature. Protect everything you can. Yes. No waste. Yes. Conserving water. Yes. So we got water and we said no waste, and then plant more seeds, eat vegetarian diet. So many things we got. I'm happy, but whoever did not write, please write it in your mind or with you and think about it for sure. So earth, protect the soil, do not waste food, plant trees, vegetarian diet, you all shared, right? And water, first thing is do not waste. And we already noticed a few weeks ago, one of the counties in the Bay Area was like, the water was so much restricted in that, and we got notices to use water wisely. So do not pollute and do not waste. And air, someone already shared walking. So more biking, more walking, and decreasing the industrial waste when we can. And then fire, avoiding deforestation And then space. The space, that's what we're going to discuss more now. All of the above measures, and most importantly, avoiding the pollution with waste and harmful thoughts. So far, we have discussed so many things that can help on a physical level to protect our inner 5 elements and 5 outer elements, and how to have that harmony in that. So quickly, you all think about your choices. So rethink your choices. Refuse single use. Reduce consumption. Reuse everything. Refurbish the old stuff. Repair before you replace. Because whatever things that we are doing too much, so the manufacturing increases, the industrial waste increases, the resources will increase, everything will increase. So repurpose and recycle is the last option. So please think all of these things. So here I'll share a very quick story. And just this story is on a very physical level, but you think about it on in your life, what you are doing and what we can change. So there is the eagle and a fox. And the fox had so many little creatures with it. It saved it on its way in the forest in hunting. It saved some food, and then this eagle was very hungry. And so the eagle came to the fox and asked, "Can I have a little bit of what you have? Because I'm hungry." So the fox asks the eagle, "Give me 4 of your feathers, and then I'll give you this." So it gives the 4 feathers and then takes some food. It kind of relieved its hunger a little, to the little extent, but it's still hungry. So it asks, I'm hungry still. Can you give me a little bit more food?" And the fox says, "Yes, but give me 4 more feathers from your wings." And it gives that. So now with the second time, it's happy. Hunger is like its hunger is gone, satisfied, but the taste was so good, so it wanted to eat more of that. So the fox also recognized that. So as the eagle told the fox to give more, the fox says, "Now give me 4 more feathers, 4 more feathers." Like that, the eagle, out of I don't know, greediness, I should say, or not satisfied with what it has, or things like that, it gave all its feathers to the fox. And then the fox, at the end, ate that eagle because eagle couldn't fly. So it was a physical example of how, without thinking about its own capacity to whether it can fly or not, it just out of greed for that food, even if it's satisfied, it was asking for more and more and more, and lost its feathers and the capacity to fly. So now we all can think about it. What are we losing? What are we doing to our environment, inner and outer? Are we losing our freedom just seeing some artificial, external, unnecessary, unwanted things out of comparison, out of greed, or out of uh, to satisfy some other lacking things like that? Think about it. If we are putting our peace, our love, our happiness at the expense of something so not needed once, what can we tell about ourselves, right? So this is the time to really think about how we can simplify our choices, live simply but yet royal, simple but royal, simple but satisfied. And so we can have our own 5 elements in harmony, because if we don't eat too much, then our elements will be in balance. I'm just taking the example of eating, but it could be buying too many things or wanting too many things when we cannot afford things like that. So just think about how we can balance our own 5 elements and how we can balance the external environment. And then somebody may say, "Oh, some of these big environmental things are global issues." What we can do? We can do. So think global issues but act locally. This is one of the very common things that our teacher teaches us at our meditation center. Think global, because we want to serve the whole world, but acting locally. So how we can act local and think global, we will learn more. So simple things will create wonders. So if we change the climate of our consciousness, our climate, the inner climate in the mind, in the body, if we change that consciousness, it becomes very easy to change the consciousness of the whole world, the climate of the whole world. But we have to change the climate of our inner world first. So we can do that. So acting locally means thinking about our inner environment, and we can make global changes when we think locally our own climate of thoughts, climate of our physical body. So just watch this video just for a minute or so. Just watch it carefully. So I stopped it in between because of the time. But what did you do when you were watching this video just for those few seconds? Quickly, you want to share so we can move forward? Or are you still in that video? Lost in that? Okay, very peaceful, appreciating the beauty of nature. Yes. Anything else? Behold nature. Yes. Heard bird chirping. Great creations of God for us. Yes, very beautiful thoughts, right? Simply what we did. If time permitted, I should have done a couple more minutes. But what we actually did while we were watching the video is a kind of meditation, right? Because we are so focused only on the one feeling or the thought of enjoying the creation of the God, enjoying the creation, the nature created for us by God and nature. So we are just lost in one thought, one feeling. And one more important thing, what we learned here is, did anybody think of the flower before when you're seeing the current flower in the video? I think none of us took the idea or took the thoughts backwards, right? No, they said. So definitely no, because we are in the present moment. This also teaches us how to be in the present moment. We were not thinking of the beauty of the previous flower, because the current flower that we're watching is also very beautiful and we're enjoying that present scene. And then we were also not worried about the future. What will come next? Will it be beautiful or not? We were not thinking, right? So we were in the present moment, enjoying the present scene in front of us. So nature teaches us that also. One is, I wanted to show you that meditation is not hard. We're going to talk about meditation in a couple of minutes. First thing is, meditation is to be focused on one feeling or thought, and then being in the present. These things that we can learn from nature and then put in our practice. So we'll learn that meditation right now. So this power, the one very important thing that I want all of us to take from today's webinar is, we have discussed a lot of important things, how we can contribute to the balance, the harmony of our inner and outer worlds. One thing is our power of the peaceful and loving vibrations heal the nature. And here the nature is our own physical body and the external nature also. I hope you all agree that the power of peaceful and loving vibrations heals the nature. But if someone has a question about it, let's think about it this way. The truth, actually. So when we speak, we all understand the science of the sound. The waves of the sound are carried in this air and are reaching to the other person, to the other place. Very simple science. We all believe in it, and there is so much expansion in the science that has created. We can listen to people from so different faraway places also. So thoughts are the inner sounds. Every thought we are creating is like that sound wave, the vibration that will echo in our body, and those vibrations will be transmitted to the nature also. So I think we shouldn't be thinking, really, will the thought create the change? Yes, for sure, because thought is that vibration, that inner sound that will echo in our physical body and the vibrations into the nature. So that's the most important way to contribute. When I say deforestation, a lot of things are involved in that. Higher authorities, people globally is involved. But when I create a thought for myself to keep the environment peaceful and safe and powerful, it's in my control. So I can act locally to create changes globally. So thoughts are the inner sounds that will echo in us and outer nature. So these thoughts, how we create, what kind of thoughts we create, how to channelize our thoughts is what is taught at our meditation, Raj Yoga meditation at Brahma Kumaris. We will look into that quickly. So as our thoughts are, those are the vibrations. And now here, the most important thing we have to understand is, who is creating these thoughts? Who is creating these thoughts? It is myself. I am the creator of my thoughts. With what consciousness I create the thoughts is what matters. If I create the thoughts thinking that I'm just this physical body made of these 5 elements, holding this position, playing this role, my thoughts will be very limited. But when I create my thoughts being that living energy, the master in this physical body, those are the thoughts that bring the changes, that bring the harmony, that bring the peace. So in the battle between the light and darkness of knowledge, the light always wins. So this light is what we are. We have to remember that is the basis for creating the thoughts that bring power, that bring peace. So this physical body we were looking at is created with those 5 physical elements, the beautiful creation. But I am the master, I, the living energy called soul, or Atma, or Ruh, residing in the center of the forehead, sending the energy to all the physical organs as a master. So then, if I remember that I am this light, keeping the awareness of light and the knowledge, I create the thoughts with my original qualities of peace, purity, love, happiness, and bliss. If I remember that I am creating the thoughts, sitting here, creating the thought of peace to my brain, and that gives the impulses to the whole physical body, to the hormonal system, to the immune system, everything will be in balance and in harmony. And when my thoughts and actions are in harmony, the external environment will be in harmony with us. So remembering that we are this consciousness, pure consciousness, the light, energy, master of this physical body, we can help harmonize things in the inner and outer worlds. But the second question here we have is, someone will say, but I don't feel that energy, or I don't feel that power. Yes, we all kind of got discharged in our process in this life. So the one that charges us will give us that power. Who is that divine energy? We'll look into that. So it's about staying light and drawing on God's might. Then everything becomes right. So very quickly, I'll go through this example and then we'll connect to that higher divine energy who's going to charge us. So water, when the first water droplets come onto the mountains, very pure, very fresh, very beautiful, raindrops go through the mountains and all. It comes into the cities and towns where we are using it, and after we are using that water for all purposes, the water becomes dirty, murky. Can we say that this is what the water is? No, right? It has become that, discharged from the power, polluted from the pollutants. But when all the water goes into the ocean, with the help of sun, it gets evaporated. All the impurities are gone, and then the rest of the process happens and the raindrops come. Very similarly, in our lives, because we are discharged, the soul is pure always. But because of body consciousness, we added the impurities, the alloy of anger or greed or sadness or comparison, jealousy, all these things are pollutants. So we got discharged, and now God, the supreme energy, the supreme light, helps us charged, helps us get that might from Him, gives us that love, gives us that knowledge, that bliss, that happiness. All we have to do is just create that connection with God. Take that few moments of time, remembering that I am this energy, creating all the thoughts, running all this physical body, and that creates my aura, that changes the external environment. Remembering that I connect to God, get that might and energy from God, and I radiate that to the whole body and to outside environment, become a king on myself, and run the physical body and help the nature. So that's what is started our meditation center at Brahma Kumaris Meditation Center, Raj Yoga meditation. So we will practice that for a few minutes now, because action is the distance between dreams and reality. We know all the things, but we want to put in practice. So we'll start doing that, connecting with God, getting that power, radiating to that nature, including our body. So we'll sit in a few minutes of meditation, and if we have any questions, we'll take. Sit comfortably. Relax your body. Relax your feet. Relax your legs. Relax your back. Relax your facial muscles also. Become completely relaxed. Gently focus your thoughts in the center of your forehead. Visualize and experience that the true self, the point of light, the living energy, the source of life to this physical body. I am the master of this physical body. I am a peaceful being of light. I am a peaceful being of light. I am the child of God, the supreme light, the supreme energy, the supreme harmonizer. I visualize and experience the gentle, divine rays of love and peace being showered onto me from God. I am under the canopy of peace and love from God. I have this aura of peace, love all around me. I radiate this peace and love every cell in my physical body. Healing the body. The fragrance of these peaceful and loving thoughts is being spread in the air around me, purifying the air, and the air is also carrying these thoughts of peace and love far, far, and reaching the souls who are in need of it. I'm also sending this God's love and peace to the water element. Purifying the water, energizing the water, I send this God's love and peace to the Mother Earth, expressing my gratitude and showing my respect with God's love and peace. I send this God's love and peace to the space, and the nature, the benevolent nature. Whatever I'm sending out, sending that back to me, giving that love and peace. I send this God's love and peace to the fire element, which helps to purify. It sustains the life. I am God's child. God's love and peace helps me to be in harmony with the inner and outer worlds. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. I hope you all take some time to practice the meditation to get the sustenance from the divine energy, become that power and radiate all around. We have upcoming webinars next week, Saturday, 13th November, Travel Light. And then we also have a workshop on November 20th to take care before experiencing the work burnout. It will be a very engaging workshop. I would highly encourage you to all participate in that. And then we have a beginner's Raj Yoga meditation course that is going to be starting from today evening, English and Hindi. If you did not take earlier, and if you did take and not practicing yet, I would really encourage you to join that and know about the self and how to channelize thoughts, how to get the power from the divine and radiate, please join that. And then we also have this series of positive home through positive attitude, starting from November 7th tomorrow for 6 weeks on Sundays. For kids, 10:30 to 11:30. For parents, 2 to 3. So it's a beautiful series. The kids and parents will be learning the same things at their own pace, and they all will practice those attitudes, the positive qualities in at home. So together they will be doing a good positive environment in the home. And we also have free well-being webinars at workplaces. If you're interested, please submit your request, and our sister Kusum, our teacher, will help you to set up those at your workplace. And then briefly, our organization, Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual Organization, is a non-profit organization founded in 1936, and we have 1 million practicing members worldwide, and we have a global presence in 130 countries with more than 8,000 centers. And our motto is to share the spiritual knowledge that enables the self-transformation and thereby the world transformation. The focus is on the self-transformation and self-empowerment, which helps the change come in the world also. And we help transform the perspective of the world from material to spiritual. And then locally, we have Brahma Kumaris Silicon Valley Center in Milpitas, and it's led by our sister Kusum. She's the director of the center, but she's also our teacher, guide, mentor, sister, everything. She helps us to keep always close to God, close to the self, the pure self, and close to God, and helps us lead our lives blissfully. And we have Sister Kusum is practicing meditation since her childhood, and she surrendered her life for godly service for the last 39 years, and in Bay Area she's here for the last 26 years. And we have Raj Yoga meditation courses, webinars, events, kids classes, as you all saw, and a lot of information is there on the website, what are all the events we are having and how to register. We are located on 540 South Able Street, Milpitas. You can contact at svbrahmakumaris.org. And then in the website, we have all the courses, events, new student resources, a lot of meditation videos we have. And we do not charge for our courses and retreats, but if someone is benefited and would like to contribute, they are tax deductible. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you all start doing some things to keep the balance going. And if any questions, we can take now.
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
This was a really informative session. Thank you so much. And we learned a lot of new things today. And you started off with sharing how the elements in the outer world impact this body, as this body is also made of those elements. And bringing a balance in the outer world or the external world is important, of course, and it's a global issue. We are all doing and will continue doing our bit. But the most important part over there we should also do is bring a balance within. And you explained in great detail how we can do that and how meditation will also help us there. Thank you.